and welcome back to my booktube. So in today's video, I decided to collect all the books that I want to read because of Netflix. So as you know, we in the UK have been in lockdown since January already. This is lockdown number 3 and all we do is basically watch Netflix. So I have watched a lot of movies and TV shows, and a lot of new movies and TV shows are coming out that are based on books. So I really enjoyed a few of them, and as soon as I watched the movie and I loved it, I really wanted to read the books. But obviously I'm a bit concerned about reading the books after watching the movie, because I really liked the movie, so I'm scared that after reading the book it's gonna take away from that experience and I'm gonna grow to hate it. But there are a few books that I decided to go for it and read it this year. So this is going to be a list of all the books that I'm going to read because of Netflix. The first book, I don't think it's going to come by any surprise to anyone, is To All the Boys I Loved Before. I watched all 3 movies and I'm so obsessed with them. I know that the second movie in particular is completely different than the second book, and that the books are obviously completely different, but I'm only watching it because Noah Centino, obviously. So yeah, I got this book already and I'm extremely curious to start reading it and to see what the real story is and how it was sold in the books, because the movie is just so cute and I just love it so much that I think the first and the third one are my favorite. I don't really like the second one, but the first one is really epic, and I really want to read the first book to find out what happens. So as you all know, Lara Jean writes love letters to the boys she has crushes to, but she keeps them hidden until one day her little sister finds that box and mails all the letters out. And then a huge mess starts and she sends a letter to Peter, who's the most popular guy in the school, and they end up fake dating together so he can get back to his girlfriend. And so Lara's protected from one other guy who also got a letter, and this huge mess starts. And I just love the concept because fake dating is actually one of my favorite books to read, so I really enjoy those ones, and I really like it that how in a young adult book they managed to put it in. So I'm actually curious to read it. I'm a bit hesitant, as I already mentioned, because I love the movie and I love Noah Centino. So I'm pretty sure Peter Kaminsky for me is going to look exactly like Noah Centino. But I'm actually excited to start reading it, and I think I'm gonna read it next month if I'm correct, but I'll keep you posted about it. The next book on my list is, I'm gonna go through the movies first that are already out and that I really loved. So the next one is 5 Feet Apart. I really love that movie. I even watched it in the cinema before it was on Netflix, and I cried so much. I even made my boyfriend watch it, and I think he cried too. So
I didn't cry. You were crying for both of us.
So it's quite an emotional movie. It's basically about Stella and Will, and they have cystic fibrosis and they meet in a hospital, and basically Will doesn't want to take his treatment because he's so done with taking pills and going through all these process that they need to do with cystic fibrosis, and Stella's a control freak and she really wants to do this and live. So they end up Stella ends up helping Will, and they are kind of end up falling in love. But obviously when you have cystic fibrosis, it's dangerous for you to be close to people that have it as well, so they need to keep 5 feet distance between each other. And actually I haven't realized how current this movie is, because in the movie all the time they wear masks that became our daily part of our lives currently, and we also started keeping more social distancing 5 feet apart. So this movie is actually quite relevant to what's happening today. So if you actually want to watch it, please check it out. It's a very emotional and sad. It's kind of like Fault in Our Stars, but a bit of different, and I think it's even better because it's just, oh my god, it was just so emotional. And I think what I liked the most about it was that you couldn't really tell what's gonna happen. So definitely I feel the book is going to be similar, and obviously the cover is gorgeous. I'm gonna put it up here, and it actually represents quite a few important things, this cover. And in the movie they actually use the cover as her poster on the wall, so it's actually quite cool how it has a meaning and how everything is connected. So that's why I'm very excited to read the book. I don't own the book yet, but I'll definitely going to buy it because I really want to read it. The next book on my list is Midnight Sun, and no, it's not Stephanie Meyer's one about Edward's perspective of Twilight. It's the one with Patrick Schwarzenegger and Bella Thorne, I think, and it's about Katie and Charlie. So Katie has this sickness that she cannot go out in the sun because she has this very rare skin problem. And one day she plays music in a train station, and she meets Charlie there, who was an ex. I think he was a swimmer, but he had an injury, so he couldn't go back to it. And so she doesn't actually first tell him about her sickness, and they start like hanging out until one day they stay out up until sunrise, and he finds out the truth. So it's also a very emotional story. I know I talk about a lot about like sick teenagers and people who are close to dying, but I swear I'm a normal person and I don't have any thing with this, but just wanted to mention it. So it's a very emotional story, and I had the book, but then I was moving, so I had to give it away, and I'm very sad that I haven't gotten around to read it when I had it, so now I need to rebuy it. But definitely it's something that I'm really interested in because I really enjoyed the movie, and I'm just curious to see how it is. But I know the parts that I read, because I read a bit about it, is actually like what I read was basically word to word what was written in the book was said in the movie. So I'm actually very curious to see if it's really that much similar, because I heard rumors that people said that it was actually almost like the book and maybe even better. So that's why I'm very excited about this one, because there's no way in hell probably that I can grow not to like the movie after this. So the next one is Sun Is Also a Star. I watched this movie not that long ago because I really like the main actor who was in the movie. He was in Riverdale too, playing Reggie, so I really liked him and I wanted to watch it. And this movie is about Natasha and Danielle, and basically they meet and all they have is one day because Natasha's family is about to be deported. And I don't actually remember the plot that much, but I know there was like a lot of things were going on in that one day they had, and Natasha wanted to save her family from being deported, and Danielle was, I think, going on an interview for college or something, and it was actually very emotional, and I really enjoyed the movie. So I'm actually curious to read the book. From this author I actually read Everything, which I wasn't a huge fan of that book because I felt like I didn't like the ending of it, obviously, so I was a bit hesitant about picking up this book, but I heard that it's really good and people are really enjoying it. So maybe it was just the movie was a bit like flat. It was enjoyable, but it was not something I would rewatch again, but I definitely want to give a book a try because I heard amazing things about it. That was all for the movies, and now moving on to TV shows. I think you all know what I'm gonna start with, and it's the one and only fail. So it's the one and only Bridgerton. I recently got this book like 2 days ago, and I'm super excited about it because I was obsessed with the TV show, and I really, I like the Duke, and I mean he was cool, but I'm totally in love with the Viscount. Like, honestly, I'm so obsessed with him, and I just cannot wait for the second book and the second season. Yeah, I think this is the second season, so I really cannot wait for that. And definitely I want to read the first book. I heard that it's a bit different than the TV show. Obviously there are a few scenes, like I know even their wedding night together was quite different in the book, and they solved it like much more like friendly, let's say, in the TV show. So I know it's a bit more like, you know, not that friendly in the book. So I'm a bit like concerned about the book, but I heard that people who watched the TV show first and then read the book really enjoyed the book as well. But obviously it's a bit different than the TV show. And obviously I'm gonna read the first one so I can read the second one, which is about Viscount. He is Daphne's older brother, obviously, so I'm very curious about his story as well. And yeah, if I like it, I heard that my friend who read it, she said that she really enjoyed the first one, but the second one was much better. So maybe I think it's better if I read the second book before the TV show comes out. So then, one, I know what to expect, and two, it doesn't really take away from the book because I'm very excited for his story. So definitely that's on my goal, to read the first and the second book before the second season comes out. But I only have the first book for now, which I'm a bit sad about it because the first book is the movie cover, and the TV show cover, but I'm pretty sure the second book will be the original cover, so my covers will not match, but I think it's fine. My bookshelf can survive that, and my OCD can survive that too. So yeah, I'm very excited to read this book, and I'll keep you updated what I thought about it. The next TV show that I watched and I enjoyed was Tiny Pretty Things. As you know, I love ballet, so this TV show was on top of my list, and I actually read these books before the TV show came out, but it was back in like 2015 or 17, maybe 15 or 16 or 17, like a long time ago. So I actually didn't remember that much, but it was very funny because I started watching the TV show, and then they were like talking about this girl whose name was Navea, I think is her name in the TV show, where actually like her real name in the book is Gigi. So I was like, who's this girl? Like, this is not even her name. And then this book is actually set in Manhattan, but then the TV show was in Chicago. So I was like a bit confused, and there were like scenes that didn't really make sense to me. I mean, I enjoyed it because it was a ballet one and I know what it was about and what's gonna happen, but I kind of like felt very confused. So now I definitely want to reread the book to make sure that like I still remember it and that it's all fine. And I'm pretty sure like I actually don't think it ended how the book ended. So I'm completely confused what they're gonna do in the second season. So that's why I want to read these books. I know I said Netflix made me read it is the title, but it's fine. I read it, but Netflix is making me reread this book because I have no idea actually what they did out of the book. But I know the book, the first one was very good. So I definitely want to reread it to make sure that it's still very good and that the TV show just messed it up a little bit in a way that it didn't follow the book. It's fine. Now we're down to the last two book series that I want to read. So both of them, I think, if I'm correct, are coming out soon, this year or next year. So one of them is obviously The Shadow and Bones and The Six of Crows from Leigh Bardugo. This TV show is, I think, coming out in April, so I don't have that much time to read it, but I'm very excited about it. So if I'm correct, this Shadow and Bones, that's the Grisha series. It has 3 books, and those follow Alina, who, like, when her best friend is attacked, she realizes she has some secret powers that were like hiding in her, and then she uses them to save them both. And then when she realizes she's part of these elite magicians like Grishas, and it's set based on a Russian fairy tale. I know I talked about wanting to read Leigh Bardugo in my previous video. I'll link it up here so you can check it out. But definitely, like, now it made a top of my list because of the Netflix show that's coming out, so I want to read it. I watched the trailer and it was really intriguing, and I'm very excited to read it because it seemed like such a fun. I know I don't like that much fantasy, as I already mentioned a few times, and then I always talk about fantasy books, so it's fine, we're gonna just ignore that. So yeah, I'm very excited about this one. And if I'm correct, I don't know, I know in one of these series there's a Nikolai and the Zoya. I think it may be the next one or it's another one. I don't know, but I'm like very excited because, as I already mentioned 100 million times, like, Nikolai is one of my favorite Russian names. So I'm super excited to like meet him in the book, and I definitely want to read the books before I watch the TV show because I feel like I enjoy the TV show better if I already read the book, because for some reason, like, then I know what to expect and I'm not that worried and I don't need to binge it in one day. Like, for example, for the Shadowhunters, like, I read the books way before the TV show came out, so I wasn't that like, I didn't have that need to binge watch it, so I could like be more calm, and I prefer reading anyway. So I'm just gonna read it before it comes out, but it's definitely Netflix's fault that is making a jump on my TBR. And the last book, I think it's coming out this year or maybe next year. I'm not completely sure but I heard that it will be a TV show and it will be coming out, and it's the Selection series. So I learned from my previous mistakes and I didn't attempt taking the box out and the books out from it. So I'm just pointing at it because we're just gonna leave it there. So it's basically like a TV show kind of thing, like 35 girls are fighting to be chosen from the prince and be in love with him. So it sounds like such a cool concept and I'm very excited about it. I know a lot of people love this series, so I'm definitely intrigued by it and I cannot wait to read it. As you can see, I already have the books, I just haven't gotten there to read them yet, but I'm very excited and I want to read it. I do know there's one couple who actually two girls end up together, and I know because there was actually a dating show like recently where it actually happened, and then people were referencing the Selection series saying how books become reality. So that's why I know that. It's not really a spoiler, so, but sorry if it was a spoiler for you. But yeah, so I'm very excited about this book series and I think it's coming out soon. So it's definitely like moving up on my TBR, and I want to read it soon so I can watch the TV show when it comes out. I think it's gonna be a TV show. Okay, now I'm confused, but it's fine. So that's all. Those are all the books on my TBR because of Netflix and because of the Netflix movie or TV show that I have recently watched and because I want to read it now. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you read or watch some of these movies or TV shows, and if you do, please let me know down in the comments if you have read them or if you watched them and what your thoughts were on them. Maybe I'm the only one who cries on these movies, maybe you cry too, I don't know, but let me know so we can talk about them. I will link all the books down in the description box as well for you, so in case you want to buy them or if you just want to remember what I mentioned, because I know I mentioned a lot of them, so you can reference them back, and you can also watch them on Netflix. I think most of them are still on Netflix. I have Netflix UK, so if you're from the US it might be a bit different for you. And please like, comment and subscribe, it will mean the world to me. And I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!